Yeah. If our brother is highly loaded. Yes, your contribution is that you are here. I've said so many things about you, so hello. I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, you have been saying so many things about you. You don't even know you're not there, only to discover, only to discover you are blessed. So go ahead, please. Psychology, color in filmmaking. Psychology of colors, the role of colors in filmmaking. We have the directors here. We have the storyteller, the scriptwriter here. We have the cinematographers, and we have the editors. So we have them full in the house. Are you here? Can you hear me? So um,
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you, sir. I can hear you back now.
Is this better?
Yes, it's better. I've changed the network.
Okay. Because the network, I just had to change network.
I do the same. I'm doing the same thing too. Let's go.
So good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Oh, everybody can hear me. That's good.
Yes.
I see you guys have had quite a number of classes, and I believe that they've been a blessing to you. Bro Paul has always gone the extra mile to make sure that the best is delivered at SEDME at all times. And for many years, that has been consistent. Bro Paul, we appreciate you so much and we celebrate you, sir. So I don't know if there's any question. I saw Bro Paul earlier was talking about colors. If there is any question in the house, I can attend to it. Or if Bro Paul, if you want me to discuss any specific area, I'm much available to share knowledge in that area, sir.
5 questions. 5 questions before the student will ask you. What are the important colors that attract cameras? That attract cameras. That cameras want to see all the time. And what are the roles of colors in production?
Sorry, I have a bit of a cough. So colors are very important, but all colors are beautiful based on what you want to do. But you see, your final result always has to be determined by what your audience see and appreciate. So if we go by that, how you measure color, I don't know how many of you know measurement of color or what we call wavelength. If you understand what wavelength is, you will know the temperature of colors. Warm color, cold colors, colors with very long wavelength, like red. Red and infrared is the longest wavelength, while ultraviolet is the coldest wavelength, which is blue. Now, looking at camera, if you're placed with, if there are plenty colors on your screen, the first color that will first pop to you is red because it has the longest wavelength. So basically, your camera is designed to pick all colors, but your eyes on their own, they pick the longest wavelength first before the short wavelength. So if you're looking at what are the colors that favors the camera, it's basically the combination of your colors and how much of those colors are in the frame. But predominantly in the cinema space, people like to use red a lot. And our skin tone and nature, brown, they all fall into the category of secondary of red. So your skin tone, brown, the earth, green. So basically, if you have your primary colors, they always pop in cameras. But the most important thing is how you blend it. So you have to find a way to complement colors. I'm sure Bro Paul might have already mentioned to you about color combination, where you have monochromatic, complementary colors, trigent or split complementary colors. Those are the ways you merge and mix and combine your colors. So if you're using monochromatic, all you have to do is check the shades that are working with what you have chosen. So if it is blue, you check all other colors that are the shades of blue. So how you match colors, and then the primary colors that you put forward are the colors that naturally the cameras would appreciate. I know I'm trying to put a lot of information into a short explanation, but I hope I'm able to communicate something to you guys.
Yes, sir. All right.
All right.
The second one.
Go ahead, sir.
I said the second question. Now,
Go ahead, sir.
The editors are here. They talk about color grading. And color this, color that. In a simple term, you as an editor who edited Malik, what are the things that determine what give the feel or cinema feel in your color grading? Or what is expected from the cinema, what your color should look like?
So there is no particular rules to it, but for your color grading, it all starts from shooting. So if you're editing, unless maybe they already finished the footage and they brought it to you, and then they finished shooting, they just brought the footage and you're trying to color grade, that's a different case. But if you want to start off from the beginning, as an editor, you have to first talk with the DOP and the director before they even start rolling camera. Have them explain to you the feel they are expecting. And then the DP must understand that if you expose too much light on the skin tone, it will kill the tone, color information. So that's why we use diffusers on light. And that's why when we're shooting outside, we use butterflies to cut down sunlight. The most important thing is that don't let direct light be on your subject. It will create huge contrast. And those high contrast usually doesn't look good when you are grading. So let your contrast be low, the ratio of your contrast be low by not overexposing your subject. Now, if you also can communicate with your DOP or whoever is handling camera to always check for false color. There's what is called false color in camera. That's how you use to determine the range of which your skin tone is either underexposed or overexposed. It's called false color. You can read up on that. The moment that is balanced, then every other thing in the scene can be balanced. Now, the aspect of grading as an editor, once you have the footage, of course, all you have to do first is color balance before grading. You have to balance all the colors. Now, sir?
I'm telling the editors to make notes, to take notes.
As an editor, when you are balancing the colors, you know that on your vectorscope, is it good? Okay. On your vectorscope, on your scale, you will see on your wavelength of your colors, you have the high, you have the low from 0 up. If your color is too dark, it will come down. So you have to balance the color frequency, the color wave, so that it's not underexposed and it's not overexposed. It's not too black and it's not too white. It doesn't peak. So editors, I hope you will be able to understand what I'm saying without showing you graphics. Your color wave should not peak and should not flush on the base. So once you are above maybe like 20, you're safe. And then when you color balance your picture, that's when you now apply your adjustment layer to grade it generally. Now, one of the errors that most editors don't know is how to balance two different shots that were taken with two different cameras. Their exposures are not the same. Sometimes you have challenge of two scenes that were shot on different times, different temperature. By the time you put the two scenes together, they don't look alike. Even your long shot and your close-up may not look alike, and you are cutting in between them. So you have to balance the two color frames. That's what you call matching. You have to match the colors of each frame. So once you are able to balance the match, you match the colors. These ones are, there are things that I can only show you practically. Once you match them, all your colors should look the same and flat. All your pictures should look almost like colorless. Do you understand? Yeah. That is when you have balanced everything. White is white, black is black, blue is blue. Without saturation, everything is just flat, even the same. Then you now apply your adjustment layer to do color grading. Now, your color grading can be a bit tricky if you have not been used to it, or if you don't know or have a reference. What I can advise you to do is, before you start grading any scene or any picture, have a feel, a reference feel, like a picture of something you want to achieve, or a film that has the kind of feel of what you want to achieve. Then you can work towards that and then improve on that. It is after you have balanced your picture and match all the variants in the pictures, whether long shot and medium, or one scene to another scene. After you have balanced everything, that's when you're now grading. So grading is like making everything look uniform, the same. While color balancing is solving the problem of where is dark, where is light, where is overexposed, where is underexposed, what are the things that are happening. So once you can adjust all this perfectly, you can now go into your color grading. And then color grading is usually based on director's preference. What they want to achieve. Now, take for instance, if you are grading a night scene, nights are not supposed to be warm. Do you understand? Nights are supposed to be cold, because the color of night is blue, it's cold. But if you are grading a sunset, like sunrise or sunset, those are some warm time of the day. Temperatures are usually warm at that period. So you grade that period to look warm. If you are shooting in north, maybe Sokoto, and you have a scene that is happening in the south, you can't grade them the same, because the north has warmer sun, so you have to grade the north to look warm. So these are some basic things you need to know about grading. So you grade based on how you want the field to be, generally. And then, of course, director's references. Unless your director didn't give you reference, then you can do samples. You can do like 3 samples grading and share with them and tell them which one do they like. When they pick, then you continue on that grading this thing. It's a more practical work than theory.
That's right. That's right. That's
yes,
very
sir.
correct. You know, I know uh, your video would have been so ready, but it's okay. But that's why I said, let me get you engaged like this. Second to the last question, you like talking about film history. You like talking about that. In 2 minutes, what can you make it interesting? The history of filmmaking?
Film history.
Yes. You like talking about so much.
These people I'm looking at, are they ready to listen to the history of film? So if you are
Well,
ready to listen to the history of film, let me see your hands up. Only two, only three people. The vote is unanimous. So 3 say they want, 3 say they don't want.
if you don't want, raise up your hand. Oh,
Well, film history is broad, but film, let's just say film started from the moment they discovered that cameras can capture motion. So film started from still photography, and that was way back in the 18th century, 1800 something. Now, there is what they call, there's this scientist, Edward Muybridge. So they had some arguments about the galloping horse, that at some point all the four legs were off the ground. So to settle the argument, they had to set cameras on the the race track of the horses. Now, before we know about motion pictures, there were still pictures. Talking about Da Vinci that invented still cameras. There were still pictures. So your motion picture is as a result of still pictures. That's why they call it motion picture, pictures that are moving. But the ideal thing is when they put, I'll explain in details how it works. When they put those cameras and took pictures and then play it back by scrolling through, they notice that it looks as if the horse was moving in the pictures, whereas they were just still pictures of the horse running. Well, for the records, the argument shows that at every time, the horse always had one leg on the floor. But from that bet, they discovered that if you flip these pictures fast, the horse look as if they are running in the pictures. I don't know how many of you have done those things that you draw images on books and then you flip the book and then you see the image looking as if it's moving. Has any of you tried that before? That's like the way animation also started. So sometimes some people draw things in pages. You draw it in different pages, and then you hold the book like this and flip it. While you are flipping it, the image looks as if it's moving. Now, there are two things that determines how we see motion in pictures. One, it's called persistence of vision. Persistence of vision simply means that your eye has the capacity to retain image. Your eye can retain image for a fraction of seconds. So because your eye can retain an image, a good example for that is that when they take the light, while you are watching TV, you just notice that if you're in a dark room, you just notice that the last image you saw on the TV is still flying around. How many of you have ever experienced that? If you have experienced that, let me see you raise your hand. So it looks like that image is still moving around, whereas the image, I saw your hand, well done. The image has gone. So exactly that is how persistence of vision works. So your eye, I can see your hands. Your eye retains image for a fraction. Now, what motion picture does is that before that image disappears, another image is placed on it, and before that one disappears, another is placed on it. So your eye just interprets it as a continuous image. That is how we come about the principle of motion picture. It's as a result of excuse me. It's as a result of your persistence of vision and the speed at which you project your few pictures. And now, to get accurate, life realistic movement, your pictures must be projected at 24 frames per second, which means before 1 second, 24 frames must move. Like now, this is my hand. If it moves like this in 1 second, right? For you to see this movement as a motion picture, my hand must be taken in series of pictures like this, 24 of it, for you to have this one movement in a second. So if you have 24 pictures projected within a second, it gives you real-time movement. Now, if that pictures are reduced, your movement will become slow motion because you don't have enough pictures to fill in the 24, so you have slow motion. That is why when you increase your shooting ratio, your shooting rate, speed, when you increase your frame rate in camera, like you are speeding up to 60 frames per second, right? Your image will automatically start looking like it's on fast speed. And when you increase it, it becomes slow. When you reduce it, it becomes fast. So less frame shows fast forward. More frame shows slow motion. Are we following? So that's how we come about the persistence of vision, and that's how motion picture was bettered. And then from that era, we have the era where some people were doing silent films. That's in the times of George Mellis. If you Google it, George Mellis, there was a film he did, which was the first film. George Mellis was a magician, and they usually do effects with their magic, and they recorded it. So he did this movie, A Trip to the Moon. If you Google it afterwards, you see a rocket that crashed in the eye of the moon. That was the first film he did that projected motion picture. Then after the era of silent films, they started doing films that talk, because people were like, why are they doing, why can't they talk? That's where the stereoscope and the vectroscope and all the scope in the sound industry came into play. So we moved from that era, and then we had an era of color where they started painting films, and then we started having color films, and then they now moved to the era where they now started forming narrative films, where the French expressionism came into play, where the American impressionisms, the German, and all of that, they now came up and started creating narrative pattern for their story. And then from that era, we move into the era of VFX, special effects, and all of that. So in a brief, that's how film history has been growing. And then, of course, we also have the star system in between, where people started liking stars and started attributing stories to stars. And that until today, we still see stars in all our films. So, yeah, that's a brief, quick history. You know that people study film history for a whole year in school. So,
Yes.
you should give me a round of applause for trying to summarize it in 2 minutes.
I actually set you up. The last question is, where do you see Christian or kingdom filmmaking in the next few years, like 2-3 years? Where do you see Christian filmmaking in the next few years? like 2-3
I
years?
think on the present now, there's been a lot of groundbreaking attempts by Christian filmmakers in that they are more exposed now. Before, Christian filmmakers used to hide in the shell and just believe that it's all about the message. Just get the message, that's all. You don't need to focus on quality. Whereas the people you are ministering to, they want to see something good. So if they see something good somewhere else, they want to go to see that one. And then I'm wondering, how come there's no Christian films in the cinema? So going forward, I've noticed that they are more exposed in the sense that they are now looking into equipment. What are the tools that can make the work better? So with that in mind, I think in the nearest future, we can see filmmakers that are Christians and Christian filmmakers that have quality films in terms of equipment and quality, because the story is basic and there are a lot of Christians that have good stories. In fact, I'm getting confused because I can hear my echo. So I thought it was someone else talking. All right. So a lot of films, Christian films, are really doing well because of story. Story is very key. And then now equipment. So when you have creativity, and then you have the technology, and then you have the knowledge to merge everything, like the knowledge we are talking about, knowing that it's not just about shooting. You have to consider your color. You have to consider your temperature. You don't shoot in very hot sun. And if you have to shoot in the afternoon, you have to reduce the light so that grading will look good. So those knowledge, right, that you don't compromise sound. Make sure your sound is good, because your sound is as important as your picture. So when we put all those knowledge together, and then we put a wonderful creative artwork together in terms of writing, and then we are able to get the right equipment which is available to us, I think the Christian ministry would move forward and will move fast. I must confess, the movies I'm seeing from Mount Zion these days are very good. The last Christian shooter I was in Ibadan, we shot on 6K, not even on HD, not 4K, 6K. So I think at that rate, it's very promising. We just need more people to take daring step and go the extra mile to invest in making proper good film that can compete anywhere in the world and can also be acceptable anywhere in the world. Because don't just limit your content to your region. And let's not do that. Pardon my vernacular. Let's try to reach out to more souls, because that's the basic thing that we were called to. We are called to reach out to the world, not just to our family members and those that will clap for you, even if the film is bad. If you do any bad film and I see it, I won't say because I know you. I'll tell you your film is rubbish. You should go and improve on it. But if it is good, I'll tell you it's good. And I'll even help you push it, because that's what I do. I want to see everybody do well in the industry. And that's how we can all grow. Don't be shy. If you don't know, ask. If you need someone to work with you, call. The door is always there, but it's when we limit ourselves that we stay. So I'm hopeful that the Christian industry would grow faster. It's already growing, it's expanding also. And I pray that it reaches the north and south and east. Right now, we only feel as if it's only at the west. But I hope it will grow faster and go all through. Yes. So yeah, that's it. Are you guys still there? Can anybody hear me?
I can't hear you again.
Can you hear me?
I can't hear you again.
Away.
Okay, I'm hearing you back. Say something
Okay, can you hear me now?
better.
But did you guys lose my audio for a long time, or did you hear everything I said? Okay. So is there any other question?
Yes, any other question?
Feel free to ask me, even if it doesn't have to do with color.
By the way, Duke is a filmmaker. We worked together in Abuja, we worked together in Mina, and there's been, yes, go ahead, please.
So, sir, why color brown? Why does color brown mean sensation?
Why
I
does
can't
color
hear him
brown-
clearly. Can someone just rephrase the question for me again?
Yes, say it. Repeat what you said. What he said. So why is color brown means sensation?
Why is color brown what?
Means sensation. Why does it
Mean
mean?
sensation.
Yes, sensation, sense.
Why does color brown mean sensation?
Yes.
Okay, so I didn't write the meaning of the colors. The people that know how it feels, they were the one that wrote it long time ago. Why do they use red for love? Do you know why? Eh? Why do they use white for holiness? Do you know why? Why do they use black for evil? Do you? So, but let's look at it generally. We have been structured. Let me give you a clear explanation. We have been trained psychologically from childhood to perceive colors certain way. If you are driving, you are seeing red, it means stop. Blue, green means go. Yellow means stand by. Subconsciously, they've been showing you this from your reader. When they show stop sign, they will paint it red. Why can't they show stop sign and paint it green? So subconsciously, even from when we were children, they have been coding some colors in our mind. And it has been a generational thing. Tomorrow, even you teach your children that red means stop, green means go. Whereas we didn't make the rule, we're just conforming. So your audience have already started perceiving those colors like that. So they just analyze it that people already perceive this color this way. So it's better for you to know already what people's mind perceive colors like. And then you can now use it to your advantage. Rather than you questioning why is white holy and black evil. You can decide to show an evil person by putting him on black. Or you can decide to show an evil person by putting the person on white. Nobody ever told us if the devil is a black man or a white man. But every time we see the devil, they use a black man. Why? Do you get it? So, but if you want to put any meaning to your color, feel free. Use it the way you want it and make sure you communicate what you want. It's part of being creative. Maybe you can decide to make people start thinking otherwise. Yeah, I hope I answered your question fairly.
All right. So we have Joyce.
Any other question?
We have Joyce. Yes, she has
Joy.
something.
Yes,
You
please
must
go
say
ahead.
something. Joyce, you must say something as an editor. He is an editor. So ask a question. You're just a beginner. Ask a question. You must start.
Joyce is the lady there. And she
Yes,
does have a question.
that's the only lady we have. It's the
And she's
mother
an
of
editor.
Yes.
Bravo. A round of applause for the editor in the building. My wife is an editor too. An editor extraordinaire.
I tell you. I tell
So,
you.
bravo. Well done.
The
Do
first.
you know how to handle camera too?
No. Do you know how to handle camera too? No.
But
The
do you
first.
understand how camera works?
Yes.
Do you understand the mechanism of camera and how to use camera, even if you don't handle it? If you say yes, raise up your hand and say yes. If you say no, just put your hand down and like this. So is it like this or yes, like this?
Raise up your hand. If you don't do it, just.
So you know camera, good. It's always good for an editor to understand camera work. It's very important. All right. Any other question? No question?
All right.
Guys, feel free.
Yes. Actually, they don't understand because I don't want to do any hype. You know, I don't want to do any hype. I don't want to say anything that they don't know. You understand? I want you to be yourself so that they can connect you as one of the alumni. And I don't want to make the episode that will be outdated or that is outdated. So, but Joseph Duke is actually one of us. He's one of the alumni of the SEDU. So he's even in the CV, he puts the name of the school there. He has learned so much in the industry. He has been in film school just before he came here, and he was introduced by Pastor Ayo Garuba. And then when he came, I saw the passion. I saw we've traveled little couple of times, and the first female to be my AD happened to be Faith. That's his wife. And when I said, I say hallelujah, you don't understand the work of first AD. You don't even know it at all. Because first AD does make the work easier for the director. He rehearsed them. He does all the stress, all the paparazzi, and all. He interprets the mind of the director. You understand? Sometimes the director just get there and say, okay, roll tape, roll sound, action. Somebody has done underground work. You understand? Briefly, can you tell us the role of the director? The role of the director. Because we have to go 2 questions more for them when they don't answer. If they don't have any question there.
The role of the director.
Yes, the basic role.
Generally, or a specific director?
No, generally, so that other directors can pick from it.
Oh, we have directors in the house?
You saw him, he has already picked it.
Where is the director? Show by show of hand. Our director is standing. Okay, we have 2 directors in the house. Well, director, you are a creative. Let me use the terms that my lecturer back in school said. You are a creative biological de facto entity. Grammar. Okay, so basically, right, as a director, you are more or less like an overseer, right? You are overseeing both the technical and the creative aspects, right? Now, technical because you have to know every department, what is going on in the department. Every department, not some, all the departments. You must have an idea of every department. Now, it's also your duty to cast the vision in the minds of all your crew and cast. The vision should be clear in your mind because everybody's running with your vision. If you tell them this film is going to go this way and it's end this way, that's what will happen. It is what you see in your mind that everybody is trying to create. If you don't see clearly, it means you need help. You have to see clearly before you start guiding people. So as a director, you have to be a strong visionary leader. You lead by vision and communication, not by power or shouting on people on set. Your vision has to be clear and it has to be properly communicated. That is what makes you a good, I can't overemphasize it. You have to be clear in your vision and you have to be clear in your communication. It's very important, because it is what you communicate clearly that your team will try to achieve. Excuse me. Now, as a director, your job starts from when you get a story or when you read a script. That is when you start to create what would this story look like as the final product. So you work with the writer and you work with the producer, or if there's a development producer, you work with the development producer to make sure that you get what is best in terms of story. And if the story does not fit, you make it fit, which means as a director, you have to understand story. 3 acts, act 1, act 2, act 3, you have to understand it, where the conflict is in the act, where the plot points are, plot point 1, plot point 2, where the character transformation will be. What is character arc? You have to understand it. When the character is going to change, what is the character confrontation? All of those things you have to know. The crisis period 1, the crisis confrontation, the resolution, who is the antagonist, who is the protagonist, who is the psychic, who is the supporting character. All of these things, you must understand this information as a director, and you must direct the script first to show all those things. If you do that properly on your script, you have less things to worry about on set, because everybody read the script to get what they need. Costume will read script to know which costume a character will wear. Script will tell you what time you are shooting for DOP to know when they are shooting this scene. Script will tell you the kind of prop they are using for prop masters to know what to go and get. Script will tell you the kind of house, the kind of street, the kind of city, when is the weather, what is going on. So all those things is important for you to make sure that they are in your script. Don't leave it that Tawade location, or when we get to the location, we'll figure it out. It's okay if you have not figured it out. If you don't know, let's go to reading. When you read with your crew and cast, whatever feedback they give you, you go back to your drawing board and do a rewrite. That's when you have draft 1, draft 2, draft 16, draft 17. You keep going back to rewrite until you have the perfect draft that you can call final draft. Then you run with that. And then communicate your vision, work with all the team as a general holistic visionary leader to see that you get the result you want. So I think just hold on to 3 things. 1, have a strong vision for your project. 2, communicate effectively to your crew. And 3, make sure that your story is good. Then I will add these ones to it, which will help you very well. Hire people that know more than you. It is the secret to your rising in the industry. Hire people that will contribute to the work. People that know camera. Don't go and sentimentally hire your brother because he handled camera and it's going to save you cost. You hire him to come and spoil the work for you. Hire the people that know the work so that the stress is less on you. You don't have to talk too much. You can't know more than a DOP because all his life is spent learning about camera. You can't know more than an editor because every day the guy is editing is learning new things about editor. You are not. So when they tell you, sir, you can't do it that way, why don't you try it this way? Because they know more on that aspect. Listen to them and take advice. Don't be proud. It doesn't mean you are not the director. It simply means that you are easy to work with. But sometimes you have to keep your ground. It's not like because of that, they will not be telling you to change your script or to let's shoot it like this. Let's just do it like that. Don't listen to them. Stand your ground. Excellence is key. If you do a good job, all of them will be proud. Everybody will be proud. And if your work is bad, they will say, director Enikoda, the director doesn't know what he's doing because the work is bad. But if the work is good, all of them will say, we did a good job. It's our work. So always have that at the back of your mind. I think I've given enough advice on this. So, any other question?
Thank you, sir. All right.
You're welcome.
Things I've discovered in this generation, and that will be towards the last two people. I just want to be so that I'm not the best. You know, they say pay now so that you can play later. But when you play now, you pay later. I pray the students in SEDU, we realize that it's not easy to come by Joseph Duke. Joseph Duke is not the kind that he just dedicated himself towards the work of God. Many of you have heard Malik, right? Malik, right?
Mokalik.
He works with Kunle Afolayan for some years, and is in charge of the equipment and some other things like that. And I want to tell you that all this thing you're here,
Paul, I didn't tell you about our series, the Crime and Justice series. It won best series AMVCA last year. We shot it last year. World best television series.
Oh, wow.
Crime and Justice.
So, and I've added something. So, if you know, you know. If you don't know, you know. Can I tell you that Joseph Duke also handled cameras? He specializes more even on crane at the time. In Koza, he has to be behind the crane, Abuja. So you people, your set is blessed, but I think we'll find another time to have interactive session when we're having the master class very soon. So that because he has been all the way out since morning. I want to appreciate you, sir, for your time. We really want to appreciate. I don't want Faith to sue me tonight. I don't want Faith to sue me. So I will release you now. Thank you so much for your time. God bless you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I will sign out with this note. If you go out there, do the best you can to represent Christ in every way. People will read you and see your work. Even those that have never opened their Bible, it is your life that they will see to make them want to open the Bible. It is your work that they also see to make them believe what you are preaching. So do your best to be a blessing out there. So thank you for having me. Thank you, Bro Paul. Thank you, everyone. Till we meet on the field again. Have fun, guys.